All right guys, welcome back to another episode with our 350Z here. As you would have seen, we successfully got the car back together and it was running really well. In fact, we took it to the racetrack and I ended up getting on the podium with the first time at Crescent Motorsport Ranch out here in Fort Worth. Well, technically Crescent, but Fort Worth for everyone else. So, but that was at the cost of the brake lines. So I actually blew those out doing about 90 to 100 somewhere on one of the straights there, and that led me back to a situation that we'd had previously when we went to Grid Life 2020 out at Pikes Peak International Raceway. When we got there, I'd noticed that some of these stainless lines that I'd put on and hadn't run very long at all, maybe 600 to 1,000 miles or something really low. I noticed that the brake lines were chafing, and they were the regular stainless steel lines from Z1, and that was it was really sketchy because that's the last thing that you want with your braking system, and those were really new. So doing a little bit of research on their site, they even mentioned that those lines can bind and stretch, which is kind of insane to me. And it's not exclusive to Z1 because there are plenty of manufacturers that sell just regular stainless lines that, in my opinion, would do the exact same thing. And I don't know how they wouldn't, but it's odd to me that they still sell that. And they sell a premium line, which are the new ones that I bought, that have these brass blocks that mount up to, I believe, the spindle, as you'll see, or the upright, sorry. And keep it from binding and stretching, chafing against anything. So it's really odd to me that anyone would sell those at all, knowing that, because that's a huge liability. So be careful if you have that kind of thing, because we noticed it a bit too late. And I plan to change those out, but you get lazy with that kind of thing and you think, okay, well, I can probably hold off a while. Well, it was a lot shorter of a life expectancy than I thought it would be. So dumb on my part as well too, and I'm willing to admit that. But today we've got new lines as well as a few other goodies that we're going to go ahead and throw on this car. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So as I mentioned, these are the new brake lines here, and you can see they have these little brass blocks that kind of mount up and keep these from binding and stretching as well. These are not found on the regular non-premium brake lines as well too. So you can see this is where they'll mount up at and keep that from binding. So that's one part of those lines. And then are these Brembo hard lines, but it's a must when you run these new premium lines. So you have to have these. I got away without it before because I didn't have the premium lines. The other thing I got is a new OEM positive battery terminal because you'll see the one that's on there is not OEM, and that's thanks to someone replacing it with a really crappy one. And I just use like an AutoZone fix for the moment, and it doesn't fit very well, and it comes off every now and then. So I really needed that, and that's an easy thing. And then of course, I've got my Motul brake fluid. I like to run this. It's got a pretty good boiling point. And then another thing too is my little battery cover, the tabs on it are broken off, and so it actually prevented me from shutting the hood one day because it moved out of place. This was like 20 bucks, so it'd be nice to have a new one. And then I had a little off-track excursion as well that ended up breaking one of my O2 sensor spacers right off, so hopefully we can salvage the O2 sensor from that, and I've got a new spacer here that should work. And I tried to go with a different one this time, even though the other side is still the same, just to see if this helps us with any type of clearance. And this was stainless steel, so it should be stronger than the brass one that was on there. So we'll throw that on as well too. Also, I picked up one of these Motive power bleeders from over here at Summit Racing. Went ahead and got one of those little catch cans with it too, because it was like 12 bucks, and it's got the line, and it's just gonna be nice to have. line connecting it to the suspension. I'm trying to get this off with the U-clip here. That's gonna be pretty tough, as always. Move this ABS line out of the way first. So bad. Yeah, just pliers are your best friend there, or vice grips. Here we can see this line. And here's where you can see that line ruptured, rubbed through the Teflon coating and then ruptured itself. And that, oh no, I'm sorry, it's right here. Yeah, here we go. So you can see where the line ruptured at, right there. Rubbed through the Teflon and the steel braiding into that inner lining, and then blew out. And was rubbing in several other places too, so this is a goner. All right, I've got to figure out how these go on exactly. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna do a little bit of research and then come back and see about putting these on. All right, well, my dinosaur brain finally figured this out. So you take that hard line and it mounts to the caliper here. And like I was saying a second ago, this will mount to another extension of this bracket here, which I don't have. But it loops right around here and it's not fouling anywhere. It was a little close, so we'll work up some kind of bracket for that. But that comes around here, around the back, and then loops to this brass line here. And then you take one of those lines with this fitting here, and then banjo fitting there on the end. And that comes over this distribution line on the back of the suspension. And then one more line runs up to the hard line to the master cylinder. So that is the routing. It's kind of hard to find anything that really showed or explained that, and I'm surprised that Z1 didn't have that diagram. But hopefully that's helpful for you guys. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do for the moment, because I cannot find that bracket. I'm going to cut part of this out and line these holes up just for the time being until I get those brackets, make that work, and then I'll do the same for the other side using part of this bracket. So for the rears here, I don't see a lot of point in actually changing the lines out on this one because these are perfectly fine and there's no binding or stretching or anything with these. And yeah, I don't see the point of it introducing even more air into the system and releasing the fluid that's in here. We're still gonna bleed everything, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see the point in it. They are perfectly fine. And they're very simple in terms of routing back here. It's just straightforward. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna save those other lines and keep them with me at all times. You know, I should say for track purposes, I'll keep them with me as backups with those hard lines as well. But yeah, just go ahead and keep this stock as it is back here. We're now gonna work with the brake master cylinder. So let's go ahead and pop that lid off and see if our motive bleeder actually works with that, or if I'm gonna end up needing to buy an adapter or something. Let's hope it fits. Oh yeah, perfect fit, okay, awesome. So that should be correct here. And what we want to do though is pressurize it without any fluid first to make sure that everything is tightened properly there. And then we can also go and look at each corner too and see if anything might be leaking out. So there we go. Okay, almost to 15. There we go. Maybe just one more, 2 more. There we go. Okay, right at 15. So let's see if this happens to bleed off anything. I'm gonna check each corner now. Okay, let's go ahead and replace this battery terminal here. There we go. Now with that off, let's go ahead and pull this off. You can see it's just a cheap AutoZone connection here with some wing nuts on it. Not very good. So let's go ahead and replace that. It's just a 12 mil. Okay, got the OEM one here. It's already got a stud on it. Just gonna place that on here. Now we can tighten our 10 mil bolt, which will secure that to the terminal. It'll be nice and steady. There we go, that's so much better. Awesome. Nice and new. Ah, perfect. Okay, here we go under the car. So, if you guys watched that track episode, you would see that this is the situation for the current O2 sensor. Yeah, and then there's the O2 sensor itself. So, yeah, we're gonna have to sort that out first. I think I'm gonna try and use an easy out here. See where that gets us. At least that's brass, so it should be pretty easy to drill into. You can see it's starting to turn it a little bit. There we go. It's actually pretty simple. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, that was not bad at all. These easy outs came in handy. And the fact that it already had a hole drilled. Whew, that's a relief.
So, if you guys keep up with the channel, you would have seen that we installed a new front bumper, lip, and splitter on the car as well too, as well as a few other modifications. So if you haven't already, go check those videos out. Thanks for watching, and we appreciate it very much, and we'll see you in the next episode.